Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. That's right. Only you can make the change. Shake your head at you. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy. I'm your host, DJ Genesis. What is going on with this blur on this camera? It is a little bit too blurry. Hold on, let me fix this. That blur is going hard, ain't it? I feel like I'm an ethereal being. You know? Let me fix that. Like, what? It's that blur is going hard. Man. I'm good. Y'all see my mess over there. It's a mess right there. Don't even worry about it. Don't look at that. Don't pay no attention to that. I just got stuff just over there. You know, don't worry about that. You know, yeah, I'm going to zoom in so y'all got to look at my mess. I'm messy. There you go. Look at my face. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Anyways, so, you know, I did a show with the Pod Brothers. And I wanted to like kind of bring people up. I wanted to like replay that show, bring people up, do an open panel, have like a discussion about what we discussed on the show. And I hope that you guys enjoy the show that we did. And we're gonna like do an open panel for anybody that's interested in discussing some of the topics that we discussed. Ooh, sorry. And we're gonna like go from there because I have been doing interviews the whole time that I've been on this hiatus. So here we go. Let me zoom past that part. All right, let's go. You have ice at the airport. You know, I don't even. That's crazy. Like, what, at the airport? People are at the airport. You know what I'm saying? You like, what are we gonna do? You know, so I wanted to bring them here to not only talk about the current laws when it comes to, because, you know, marijuana is now legal, but people need to be realistic about, okay, so can you just be riding around in your car with marijuana? Can you be smoking it up? And, you know, because now that all these things, I believe, are legal traps that can get you caught up, you know? So it's a lot of things that are kind of like tailored to get you kind of caught up in this whole legal. I don't even know what to say, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to bring the Pot Brothers. All right. Brother Mark and hello. Big Bro Craig. Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. And we just need to make one quick correction, which is we are the Pot Brothers at law. Otherwise we would just be two brothers who smoke pot, which is fine. But we are actually two brothers who smoke pot who are actual lawyers. So we always tease that's when someone leaves off the at law, we have to correct that.
Right. So we don't want to like just make it sound like y'all just a bunch of potheads.
That's okay too.
That's okay. There's a lot of brothers out there who smoke pot together, but as far as we know, we're the only ones that are at law.
Well, that actually have a legal that
we started this we have started this. The 50% of starting this page was to destigmatize it. I don't know if you know, in our IG for the first, I don't know how many thousand videos, I smoked in the background and my brother gave the tip and I smoked a joint. And
3,000.
We were in suit. I was in regular clothes. It didn't matter. If you don't like me, don't hire me. But, you know, whatever, we're going to do what we're going to do. And then ultimately, as things progressed and social media became what it is, we therefore had to make a decision. Do we take down all our smoking videos? Because everybody's starting to get taken down. And we got lucky. We never got taken down for smoking that we know of. We got banned a couple times for something stupid, but we got our page back. So we had to make a decision. Do we stop smoking in the videos while we give the advice? And we decided, it was really hard for me because it was like giving in. The whole point was I could do it. We got up to 500,000 followers, and then we hit a brick wall. And about the same time, AI came out even harder with their instruments to block accounts. And we had to decide. And we made a decision to stop smoking on video so we could reach more people with the other side of what our page turned into, which was protecting your fourth and fifth, and basically traffic stops and even searches at home. But basically traffic stops, which is where 95% of the people are going to encounter law enforcement.
So let's really get into it. Like, what is like so there's a lot of like different changes in laws when it really comes down to today. Can you point out some of the most significant things that have changed in law when it comes to either smoking or even just
I'm going to say one thing.
Your rights, like when it comes to like freedom of speech, all that.
Yeah, hold, Mark. I'm just going to say one thing, then you go answer the rest. Yeah. There's a misconception, and my brother was going to hit on it first, that you made a comment in your intro about weed being legal. It's not. Okay. First misconception. It is not legal, really, because you can still, in every single state where they have legalized recreational use, you can do it only in so many places, where here depends on the state. You can only have so much on you, blah, blah, blah. There's rules to having it made legal. If you have too much, if you have 3 ounces instead of 2 ounces, you can still probably get a misdemeanor and go to jail for a year. Doubtful that'll happen, but you can still get arrested for it and have charges and then have to deal with it. Because people are driving around, and I see this on live PD every Friday and Saturday in states, Kentucky, or one of them, North Carolina, I think is another one. They're just still probable cause. Quit driving around dirty and fucking stinking. You're going to get pulled over. They're going to pull it out like it's a fucking narcotic, but in 38 other states, smell isn't alone probable cause. We still tell people to Google your state. We can only talk about the actual California state laws. It's super easy to Google it, ChatGPT it, Grok it, whatever you use, Gemini. It's pretty easy to find out if smell alone is probable cause. That would be the prompt. Is smell alone?
I always would tell people, I'm like, man, do you know the first thing they do is they say, well, I smelled weed, right? That's the first way that they can get you. Well, I smelled weed in the car, That
leads into the script. That actually leads into the script, your answer.
All right, so let's get into the script. What is
Mark?
The script. So that's these
they come up and say, I smell weed.
Why did you pull me over?
Right. I mean, look, we're going to go through it real quick, and then we can break down like what you initially said. They're going to come up and say, oh, I smell weed. And that's where what we're going to say comes in handy. So they first walk up and say, why'd you pull me over?
And then when they ask, and then they tell you, oh, you were speeding. Now, why is it smelling here? Where's the drugs?
I'm not discussing my day.
Oh, well, you can't answer a simple question. Just tell me where the drugs are. I smell it.
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're being detained. Get out of the car.
Get out of the car. I always comply with their physical demands. Even though I don't think it's proper, I get out of the car, close the door, lock it, put keys in my pocket, and I say, I invoke the fifth and I want my lawyer.
And then when they keep asking questions and try to intimidate you, scare you, harass you, what do?
I continue to shut the fuck up. And whatever's going to happen is going to fucking happen.
And the point is to protect and preserve your fourth and fifth for after in court.
So how important is shut the F up? You see so many videos of people trying to be on the side of the road, being like at having court on the side of the road.
Correct. You'll never win that argument. Our tips, we say that in our tips. You'll never win that argument.
The time to argue is after in court. After in court.
You're never going to win. And that dovetails into one of the biggest concerns and reasons we started doing this more and more was people getting killed at traffic stops.
So so I want to know by a show of if anybody in the audience or leave a comment down below. Do you think that this is feasible for everybody to be able to shut the F up? Do you think that that's easy? Like, can you? Because I know that sometimes a cop can be very aggressive. They could be coming off. So a cop comes up and he's like, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? That's normally what they ask you, and you say, why did you pull me over? And then after you say, well, why did you pull me over? The next step being they'll say, well, you were speeding. And then they'll say, well, also I smell of marijuana coming out of your car. So, also ask you, so what were you doing today? Where are you heading to? You're supposed to say, I don't discuss my day, or I don't feel like sharing my day with you, or something along those lines, right? That kind of seems it could come off funky if you say it the wrong way. I don't want to discuss my day. I would like to, but the whole objective is to get the traffic stop ended. They have a certain amount of time that they're supposed to execute this traffic stop. So that's why I really wanted to bring this because I see so many videos of people just acting wild during traffic stops. Let's go.
People getting beat at traffic stops. It's just absolutely horrendous. Okay. The only caveat, and it's hard to get across on our videos, we also advocate, because we get a lot of on our page, if I say that, it's just the script, what we just said. If I do that, it's going to get ripped out of the car. They're going to beat me up if I say that. And our response is, for one, you shouldn't be afraid to exercise your fourth and fifth. It's your right. Why should you be afraid because they intimidate you into being afraid of doing that? Then it'll make things worse because you're doing something that the Constitution gives you. You should be afraid to do that. That's number one. Number two, when they walk up to the car, it's none of their business what you're doing. Them making you feel like it's wrong to not tell them is what they're trained to do, and you can't fall into that trap. And if you get out of the car when they tell you to, I have not seen a video, because people say, people getting ripped out of the car because of what you're teaching. And I said, give me a video, please, that shows that. You won't see one, because what we say after you say all this and they say, get out of the car. What did I say? I get out of the car. 99.9. I don't even know of a case where someone does not get out of the car, or they get out of the car peacefully, but then it goes sideways because someone starts tensing up, and you can see the tense up, and you can see the kind of, you can't give them one little inch of reason to mess with you.
I would say this is that, if I think that it might be a little bit different for, certain people. They might feel a little more intimidated to try to execute this whole, hey, I don't want to tell you about my day. You comply, you get out the car. You might feel kind of like, kind of scared. The whole initial thing is it's a, a fear aspect of it, but you should not feel afraid. The whole objective of this show is to tell you legally what you could do, so that if something does happen out of the ordinary, then you have a legal leg to stand on in court. So I want you guys to pay attention to what they tell you what to do. Okay, listen, guys.
It's a whole nother course in life that when they actually tell what Killer Mike said, a good friend of ours.
What?
No, about it working for everybody.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we've had countless influencers, celebrities, musicians, artists that have tried to help us reach out to minorities to let them know that, hey, this works. Because like my brother said, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to get my ass beat. And what we say, like my brother was saying, if you say those 29 words politely, You know, you got your hands on the steering wheel. You're not reaching around. You're not doing anything. And you get out when they ask. And then they beat your ass. You're going to have a huge, huge lawsuit because you gave them no reason and they just did it. And unfortunately, there are cops out there who do that stuff. And a lot of them get away with it because the moment you get aggressive, the moment you push back or resist in any small way, their little "I fear for my life" and all the string of horrific archaic case law that still exists and they're on the books kicks in and allows them to do whatever they want. Like if you don't get out of the car, they can smash your window and rip you out because of Pennsylvania v. Mims. I mean, it's easy for a cop to go back afterwards in their report and say, "Oh, I thought I saw a weapon," or "They scared me and I was afraid for my life, so that's what I had to do." And they wouldn't exit the vehicle. Officer safety, we got to get them out. If they don't get out, they could start the car, they could take off, they run and all that stuff. So doing what we say is going to preserve those rights to use afterwards for defense of a criminal matter and for a civil action. You're going to have a much better chance at defending yourself and bringing a civil action to prove they violated your rights when you do what we are suggesting for everybody. And it takes away the crutch of the cops being able to say, "I was afraid for my life." How are you afraid when all I did was this? I got out when you said, and I said 29 words, and then I shut the fuck up. How are you afraid for your life?
So let's go back over that whole script. Okay, so the cop pulls you over. He says, "Hey, do you know why I pulled you over?"
You say, "Why did you pull me over?" And that's their big line.
Even though he asked you, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" You answer with a question. Why did you pull me over?
Correct.
Okay. So he says, normally, what is the normal thing?
There is no normal. There's
the normal thing is this.
things.
They tried it. The normal
you were speeding. You didn't use your blinker. The light that illuminates your rear license plate was out. You made an illegal lane change. They could say any one of 1,000 traffic infractions.
And normally what I always see is that they go back to their car and they come back and say, "Hey, step out the car."
Well,
right?
It depends on, I mean, that does happen a lot. Maybe someone has, well, you know what? Doesn't matter the reasons. You get out of the car. Maybe there's a warrant out for you. Maybe there's one you didn't know about, a parking ticket, stupid parking ticket thing. Maybe the car has a letter on it, got transposed, and it looks like it's a stolen car. You never know. You never know.
So the best thing is not to argue with the police
and get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
And get out of the car. And we also, this is in our tips on our page. And when they say, "Put your hands behind your back," you turn around and put your hands behind your back. As hard as that may be to do, if you turn around and put your hands behind your back, you're gonna not worry about getting any kind of altercation unless you really get a bad one, which can happen. But even the bad ones, it takes all their power away from them when you cooperate fully. Because you can see on some of these ones, and I hate watching them because it's like, I saw the guy tense up. Doing what we do, we know that little bit of a tense up is going to be enough for the cop to go, "Officer safety, we had to take him down." And then when they take him down, it gets worse. Scuffle gets worse. It gets worse for the individual.
Better. Can you discuss tensing up? What is tensing up? What could be considered tensing up?
I mean, you know what? If you watch a video of someone getting out of the car, listening initially, but when it comes time to turn around and put their hands behind their back, it's putting your hands behind your back and then, or not, or like as you get them close to behind your back, you're not letting them put them together once they put one on. I mean, you can tell. I believe you can tell when you look at any video, no matter what, you can tell if someone, when
they've tensed up. In the officer's minds, it'll look like it's a tension.
Correct.
And that is they actually look for that for a reason. Another thing I see, and this is why you're supposed to shut the F up, is people doing this. They got the hand behind the back and they steady running, trying to argue. You're not going to argue your case on the street. Take them to court. Comply with the orders, but trying to sit there so you can tell the officer your mind and give him a piece of your mind, and you steady doing it. What that's looked at as tensing up, resisting. That's what that is looked at as. So the best thing to do is just to do what they're saying to do and deal with it in court. And that is why we have these the Pop Brothers at Law here to explain that. There we go. To
Correct.
then further subdue you or even escalate the issue, because then they can add more charges on.
Well, I'm not sure that necessarily is going through their head at that minute about we're going to set this up to add more charges. I really don't think that. I think
my bad. You know me. I'm like
it's okay. It's okay. If I thought they did, I would tell you. Trust me. I think it's more of they're not trained properly in community policing, and it's and that's where it should come from. But they're trained to do all these little tricks so they can get tickets, so they can write tickets and get you to walk up to you and get you to say, yeah, I might have been going a little over, or I started here, I'm going over there, and I'm supposed to be there at X time, and I'm going a little fast. Oh, what'd you say? Or do you know how fast you were going? They get you to say, I don't. That way, when they say how fast you were going, you can't say anything later because you just said you don't know.
So be quiet.
So how?
So when they ask you, do you know why I put? Well, what did you pull me over for? And shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing else.
Well, no. In between, you could do that. In between that, but the reason you're being polite, and they first walk up, they're usually going to ask you whatever, 100 different things. No, even if they ask you, do you know why I pulled you over? You say no. Why did you pull me over? In California, there's a law that they have to tell you why they pulled you over now. We call it the why'd you pull me over law, because I don't know the code section for it, and it was long after we've been telling people to ask that question, because it starts a clock for a traffic ticket, how long they can have you there.
Oh, so there's actually a clock for a traffic ticket?
Yes, but
how long
they
is the
can...
clock? What is the clock?
It's really
you probably shouldn't even know what the clock is, and then people be like, "But the clock is over with." Then they get to argue.
Well, look, it's based on
let them explain it.
It's based on the Rodriguez case, which says they have a reasonable what's a reasonable amount of time to issue you your traffic ticket for whatever you were pulled over for, and they can't just willy-nilly keep you there without independent probable cause more than other than what they pulled you over for. And in that particular case, they found that 8 to 9 minutes was unreasonable. Now, every case is still going to be different. My big brother is sometimes digitally challenged, so I'm sure he'll figure it out and log back in real quick.
He might be on his phone. Somebody probably called him.
Oh, there you go. That might be it too. But the reason why you don't want to get into any other conversation or say anything else is because you don't want to give them reason to extend that traffic stop. They can't just make you wait there and go get a dog and make you wait 15, 20 minutes. So once you want to establish the traffic stop, because, lights go on behind you, and all we know at that moment, we got to move to the right. Maybe they're going to pass you, or, and then you get pulled over. They're behind you. Maybe you've got a flat tire. I mean, who knows what's going on? And so when those cops get out of the car, the first thing they're doing is looking into every crack and crevice in that vehicle. Is there something in plain view? Is there something more? Because they don't just want to give out a little infraction ticket. They want a misdemeanor. They want a felony. They want drugs and a dead body in the trunk. And they're looking, they're looking for all that. And so when you get pulled over like that and you got your hands on the steering wheel, and we always suggest keeping your license, insurance, and registration clipped to your visor, so it's right there. Your movement is simply that. A lot of people keep it in their center console, their registration, and the insurance is in the glove compartment. Now you're doing all this stuff and reaching around, which do that with the wrong cop, lights out.
Right. So you have to make sure that you have your stuff in reachable distance. Don't put it in your glove compartment. Don't put it in the side panel, not in your purse. have all of your stuff on the top visor.
Yep.
To where you can grab it. And do you guys have something like somebody could buy, like where they could like put everything?
Actually, we do. Do you have her information handy?
Oh wow. No, I don't
It's
have
just-
it on me. There's a gal who created she created something for her sons.
Pocket USA, or
No,
was that the other guy?
well, that's another one. There are different things out there, but aside from that, it's just so easy to just take it all together, put it right. A lot of cars now have that little slot on the visor where you can just slip it in there. Otherwise, just get a.
But if
paper
not,
clip.
you can probably go. You can probably just find the just Google it or TikTok shop. Probably, I don't know. They probably have them listed, but like one was Pocket USA, I think was one.
Well, that's the one that goes outside the car. Somebody created something where you put your license, insurance, registration, and then when you get pulled over, it's in this plastic thing that has a suction on it, and then you pop it on, or it has a little rope thingy. You put it, and it hangs outside the window. So all they got to do is come by and take it right from there.
And then
And
there's
you leave
another
the
one who
window
has.
So what about, okay, so you have some people saying, okay, don't roll the window down, only roll it. So doesn't that agitate the officers? If you just put your license and everything and dangle it outside the window, isn't that going to kind of piss the officers off a little? Let me show you guys this real quick from Amazon. If you go to Amazon's website, there's a thing right here. It's called the car. It's a registration, insurance, and card holder. Okay, that's what you guys need. Is this right here? Just go on Amazon and get it. And that should stop you from fidgeting around your car and irritating the police or putting yourself in any danger. So you do that. That way your hands are up. You're not just reaching over here. You get pulled over. You don't be reaching and shuffling through your car. Always have your stuff in a reasonable place so where you can just grab it and show it to the police officer, and your hands are visible to see. A lot of times I always see people doing all this old crazy, and next thing you know, you get attacked. Monopoly said they don't care about that. Okay. Well, I want to drop the link for you, Monopoly, because I know something. I know you've been through it too, but we're just trying. Like, I'm trying to find a way to show people a way to try to avoid, getting attacked by the police. So this is like especially with ICE and stuff like that, where you have a different, newer federal officers that are kind of coming into play. You could try to do the best you can to try to avoid a situation, and everything we could do to try to avoid it. So with everything within the law. So let's go. Okay, let's see. Every time I do this. Sorry, guys. It's saying the stream share audio is down. Let me try it again. They always, for some reason, StreamYard, every time if I show a different page, it just messes up the stream share audio. I don't know why. It's so annoying. Where was I at in this video? How far was I?
You're being detained. Get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
Okay, step out the car.
What?
Right?
Have a much better chance at defending yourself and bringing a civil action to prove they violated your rights when you do what we are suggesting for everybody. And it takes away the crutch of the cops being able to say, I was afraid for my life. How are you afraid when all I did was this? I got out when you said, and I said 29 words, and then I shut the fuck up. How are you afraid for your life?
So let's go back over that whole script. Okay, so
I thought I saw a weapon, or they scared me and I was afraid for my life, so that's what I had to do. And they wouldn't exit the vehicle. Officer safety, we got to get them out. If they don't get out, they could start the car, they could take off, they run and all that stuff. So doing what we say is going to preserve those rights to use afterwards
that is the
for
link.
defense
I'm gonna send it to
of
your
a criminal matter
send
and
it to your
for a civil action. You're going to have a much better chance at defending yourself and bringing a civil action to prove they violated your rights when you do what we are suggesting for everybody. And it takes away the crutch of the cops being able to say, I was afraid for my life. How are you afraid when all I did was this? I got out when you said, and I said 29 words, and then I shut the fuck up. How are you afraid for your life?
So let's go back over that that whole script. Okay, so the cop pulls you over. He says, "Hey, do you know why I pulled you over?"
You say, why did you pull me over? And that's their big line.
Even though he asked you, do you know why I pulled you over? You answer with a question. Why did you pull me over?
Correct.
Okay. So he says, normally, what is the normal thing?
There's no normal. There's any
normal thing is this. They tried it. The normal
you were speeding. You didn't use your blinker. The light that illuminates your rear license plate was out. You made an illegal lane change. They could say any one of 1,000 traffic infractions.
And normally what I always see is that they go back to their car and they come back and say, hey, step out the car.
Well,
right?
It depends on, I mean, that does happen a lot. Maybe someone has, well, you know what? Doesn't matter the reasons. You get out of the car. Maybe there's a warrant out for you. Maybe there's one you didn't know about, a parking ticket, stupid parking ticket thing. Maybe the car has a letter on it that looks like it's a stolen car. You never know. You never know.
So the best thing is not to argue with the police
and get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
And get out of the car. And we also, this is in our tips on our page. And when they say put your hands behind your back, you turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Hey, all right. So we have a guest to the show. Welcome to the show, Monopoly. Hey. How are you doing? How are you?
How y'all doing? Y'all can hear me okay?
I can. You have a little bit of background noise. I just asked that when you're not talking, just to mute it because I guess there's like some music or something going
on. Okay. So yeah, let me kind of go outside for a little bit. Yeah, okay. I hear everything y'all saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been a victim of brutality and excessive force for absolutely no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not some of these police officers, they are overly aggressive and I don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? And it don't make sense the way that they speak to people that they're supposed to be protecting.
Mm-hmm.
And they most times present themselves as the threat to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I got pulled over one time, and while I'm pulled over on the hill on the side of the road, I took my seatbelt off. He gave me a ticket for the seatbelt. And he said he pulled me over because I didn't have my seatbelt on. I'm like, that couldn't have been. So he didn't have a reason to really pull me over at all. But he did. He pulled me over and then gave me a ticket for the seatbelt. I said, I just took it off because I pulled over to the corner and he was not being understanding at all. So I get it. But I personally think, and I don't want to make it a black and white thing, but I think it's different with the way that they approach us in our demographics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, what they're pretty much saying is that, what you got to do is you got to be quiet. You got to comply. Because if you just be quiet and listen and just say these specific words, then you have a court case that you can fight them in court. But you're saying like, no, well, hell, what if you don't make it to court?
Right. Like I personally, so I had an incident when I was on a subway, and I don't know if somebody told the officer that I was being aggressive with my lady, and he came and you're talking about a 6', 300-pound dude, and he snatched me and slammed my head against the subway tile, right? And then proceeded to even physically abuse me more when we got in the cell. My mugshot from that arrest, from that incident, showed me with a big bulge on my left eye. See, that's definitely a lawsuit that I should have taken up with them, right? I was younger. I didn't know better, but he was forcibly aggressive with me for no reason. He slammed me against the wall, pushed me down, slammed me against the ground, put his knee on my back. I couldn't breathe. I was literally yelling, I cannot breathe. That my woman started to, push him off of me, like, get off of her. Like, what are you doing? And he just arrested me for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. It gave me a disorderly conduct. I'm like, what? I didn't do anything. I was sitting here going back and forth with my girl. We was just figuring out if we're going uptown or we're going downtown. I wanted to go downtown. She wanted to go uptown. That's it. Nobody arguing, nobody fighting. And he arrested me for no reason and then abused
somebody
me.
just got y'all just was a little bit too passionate trying to figure out what direction y'all was gonna go. It was a little bit too much passion in that argument.
That's
and
it.
Somebody
That's
called
it.
somebody called the police on y'all. Next thing you know, you get him.
The honest truth about it is that while we were going back and forth, he walked past us the first time. We was on a subway platform. He walked past us to go to the other end, walk back the second time. We're still, now let's go because of these. And then he just comes back from going the other way and comes back and just snatches me from out of nowhere. And I was like, what is going on?
Slams you down onto the ground.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what do you want me to agree with her so bad? Like, like what, like my girl wasn't pressing charges. We weren't fighting. Nobody was being aggressive. So I felt like they treated me so bad because of what? Like, because of my demographic. Because if any other person would have been disagreeing with their girl about which way, but we weren't even yelling. It wasn't like, it was just random situation. I'm like, what is this? And mind you, why he had me with his knee on my back and I was saying I can't breathe. I really felt my heart rate slowing down at that very moment. He was calling me all kinds of animal and using all kinds of slurs and all kinds of stuff. And this was in 2012 or 13, I believe.
Yeah, that you had a lawsuit, honey. That was a lawsuit. That was a hate crime almost, probably.
That's what I was like, to the point my girl started swinging at him, like, get off of her. Like, what are you doing? Like, she was swinging at him like, yo, get off of her. Like, what are you doing? And they didn't want me to get my mugshot. The lady that works in the court slipped me a picture of my mugshot. She was telling me, yo, sue him. Like, he ain't got no reason. And it was bad. So I just felt like I didn't do anything. I was nice. If you would have asked me, hey, miss, can I get your ID or something like that? I didn't have a criminal record. He didn't say nothing. He just came over there, grabbed me and started tossing me around like a rag doll, right? And I'm like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like sometimes, even if we talk to these police officers nice, they don't care. Like they are ego driven and they're high off of power and they abuse that most of the time, right? That's just how I feel about it. I'm not saying that all of them are terrible human beings, but for the most part, most people who do become police officers are people who've never gotten respect in their natural everyday life. So they seek a sense of power and control and authority in something. And most times they have a clean record. They become an officer. They abusing it. They started.
So in this thing, they're trying to show like, okay, when you do encounter the police, the best thing to do. So I wanted to like play a little more of it, and then you just tell me to hit pause when you think that anything that they say is irrational or unreasonable or like not realistic. So let's continue to play the video.
As hard as that may be to do, if you turn around and put your hands behind your back, you're gonna not worry about getting any kind of altercation unless you really get a bad one, which can happen. But even the bad ones, it takes all their power away from them when you cooperate fully, because you can see on some of these ones, and I hate watching them because it's like I saw the guy tense up doing what we do. We know that little bit of a tense up is going to be enough for the cop to go, officer safety. We had to take him down, and then when they take him down, it gets worse. Scuffle gets worse. It gets worse for the individual.
Better for just tensing up. What is tensing up? What could be like considered tensing up?
I mean, you know what? If you watch a video of someone getting out of the car, listening initially, but when it comes time to turn around and put their hands behind their back, it's putting your hands behind your back and then or not, or like as you get them close to behind your back, you're not letting them put them together once they put one on. I mean, you can tell I believe you can tell when you look at any video, no matter what, you can tell if someone
when they've tensed up.
I mean,
in the officers' minds, it'll look like it's a tension.
Correct.
And that is they actually look for that for a reason to
Correct.
then further subdue you or even escalate the issue, because then they can add more charges on.
Well, I'm not sure that necessarily is going through their head at
they
that
can
minute
add
about,
more charges
we're gonna
on. I'm gonna
set this
say
up
this.
to add more charges.
I
really
will say
don't.
this is that I do believe that they be wanting to trump up the charges. I'm not gonna lie, because every time that you hear them on their camera, they're trying to add charges. What's the charge? What are we gonna do? All right, is it gonna be this? And they, at the end of the traffic stop, you always hear them kind of figuring out what kind of charges they about to put on in the whole situation. So I don't know what, that's the only part I'm like, I don't know. They do, because there's always that conversation at the end of the stop where they're just like, okay, so what are we gonna put on them?
No, they do be trying to trump up the charges, because my last situation, right? I forced them to go to trial, and they didn't want me to get discovery for the body cam. I got the full body cam eventually 2 years later, and I watched minute to minute. In that video, the officer was saying to them, well, somebody's got to go down for this. It was me against a white guy. Who did you think went down for it? And we were both committing the crime.
Somebody got to go down for this.
Yes.
See, that's another thing, is that they be having them cameras on, they be catching them saying all kind of wild stuff.
And guess what? While he said that, he realized that his mic was on and he muted it.
So listen, I wonder if there is. I'm gonna bring the Pot Brothers back, and I hope that you can come too and talk to them, because when I did this show, it was during my time when I was like, on hiatus, about 2-week YouTube forced hiatus. I'm gonna bring them back, and we're gonna do a quick Q&A show, and I want you to be able to ask questions, because I'm like, I think that it's one thing to like talk about it without any pushback. But I want to have a conversation where people actually are there to like say, okay, well, what about in this situation? Where you have a
my bad. I thought they was up here with you right now.
No. This is a older video of that I did last week, last because I last Friday I did this video. Yeah, because I was on hiatus from YouTube, but I'm gonna bring them back. So we're just reviewing the video that they did. And then I'm supposed to bring them back. They might be coming back sometime this week. So I'm just reviewing it this time, and then we're going to come back and actually talk to them. But I think that, that some of the stuff that they're kind of saying, I don't know how sometimes in every situation, whether or not could be completely realistic. That's the only thing. I think there's certain situations where this stuff doesn't apply.
Not only that, but I'm telling you, baby, there's something about us being us. You know what I'm saying? The peppers, it's just, the black pepper, they don't like us too much. And most of the time, even our own that be in the forest, they still use excessive force. So, yeah, I would like to give them a little pushback and have a reasonable conversation, because I'm not speaking from a bird's eye view. I'm speaking from experience. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
when I finally, like I said, I had the incident where they try to give me that pushback, and I got the discovery, and I said, why are they talking like this? And why are they trying to, do this? Guess what? They didn't want to go to trial anymore. You know what I mean?
I definitely want to ask a question about, like, is it that the police in a certain instance, do they have like a quota that they gotta hit? Like, okay, well, I mean, how many what we gonna put on them? Like, do we, trying to like, because they have to put something, like once they do something, they have to have some kind of a case. Otherwise, they get like a penalty because something happened, because a case didn't come out of it. Like, they have to put a charge on you because they have to substantiate the reason why all this stuff is going down. Hey, Celtic Chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like if they go through all this stuff, and even if they bring other police into it, they gotta give you a charge. They gotta give you something, because there's no, there's no way that they could just let you go at that point, right? Because there's too much money involved, I believe. They done brought in reinforcements, all that other stuff. Let's go.
I think.
Right, my bad. You know me. I'm like
no, it's okay. It's okay. If I thought they did, I would tell you. Trust me. I think it's more of they're not trained properly in community policing, and it's and that's where it should come from. But they're trained to do all these little tricks so they can get tickets, so they can write tickets and get you to walk up to you and get you to say, yeah, I might have been going a little over, or I started here, I'm going over there, and I'm supposed to be there at X time, and I'm going a little fast. Oh, what'd you say? Or do you know how fast you were going? They get you to say, I don't. That way, when they say how fast you were going, you can't say anything later because you just said you don't know.
So be quiet.
So how?
So when they ask you, do you know why I put? Well, what did you pull me over for? And shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing else.
Well, no. In between, you could do that. In between that, but the reason you're being polite, and they first walk up, they're usually going to ask you whatever, 100 different things. No, even if they ask you, do you know why I pulled you over? You say no. Why did you pull me over? In California, there's a law that they have to tell you why they pulled you over now. We call it the why'd you pull me over law, because I don't know the code section for it, and it was long after we've been telling people to ask that question, because it starts a clock for a traffic ticket, how long they can have you there.
Oh, so there's actually a clock for a traffic ticket?
Yes, but
how long
they
is the
can...
clock? What is the clock?
It's really.
You probably shouldn't even know what the clock is, and then people be like, "But the clock is over with." They get to argue.
Well, no, it's based on.
Let them explain it.
It's based on the Rodriguez case.
The clock is over with.
Which says they have a reasonable. What's a reasonable amount of time to issue you your traffic ticket for whatever you were pulled over for, and they can't just willy-nilly keep you there without independent probable cause more than other than what they pulled you over for. And in that particular case, they found that 8 to 9 minutes was unreasonable. Now, every case is still going to be different. My big brother is sometimes digitally challenged, so I'm sure he'll figure it out and log back in real quick.
He might be on his phone. Somebody probably called him.
Oh, there you go. That might be it too. But the reason why you don't want to get into any other conversation or say anything else is because you don't want to give them reason to extend that traffic stop. They can't just make you wait there and go get a dog and make you wait 15, 20 minutes. So once you want to establish the traffic stop.
I don't know. I think that they can make you wait for a dog for an extended period. I mean, I've heard when I see these traffic stops online, they gotta go get a dog. They end up having to wait there. I don't know how long it takes, but they usually have to wait for that dog to come, and it usually don't come immediate. It might be some time, and then they gotta get the dog and it's barking and whatever it's doing and get it under the control. And so, yeah. I don't know about what he's saying about that. The dogs, when they get that dog, you might as well hang up time and this, that, the other, What are your thoughts, Monopoly?
I never had an infraction for drug violation. But if you got to go get a dog, there must have been a strong sense of, narcotics or something in there. But other than that, they still be ODing for no reason half of the time. That's just.
I think you might look a certain way. You might be driving a certain kind of car. They might smell marijuana. That's what we're trying to really get across.
Well, I've gotten pulled over when I used to indulge, right? And they'll be like, I smell. I just tell them, yeah, I just dropped off a friend who was in here smoking, and most of the time they let it go. All the time they just let it go because.
To be quite honest, it sounds like to me that they're saying don't say nothing. I don't talk about my day. But I'm like, that kind of could come across kind of like rude. Piss the person off.
Standoffish, yeah.
Exactly. So I want you to, so I'm trying to think about, I don't know if this is always the best. But they're saying that police thank them for this advice. Let's go.
Because, lights go on behind you, and all we know at that moment, we got to move to the right. maybe they're going to pass you, or and then you get pulled over. They're behind you. Maybe you've got a flat tire. I mean, who knows what's going on? And so when those cops get out of the car, the first thing they're doing is looking into every crack and crevice in that vehicle. Is there something in plain view? Is there something more? Because they don't just want to give out a little infraction ticket. They want a misdemeanor. They want a felony. They want drugs and a dead body in the trunk. And they're looking, they're looking for all that. And so when you get pulled over like that, and you got your hands on the steering wheel, and we always suggest keeping your license, insurance, and registration clipped to your visor, so it's right there. Your movement is simply that. A lot of people keep it in their center console, their registration, and the insurance is in the glove compartment. Now you're doing all this stuff and reaching around, which do that with the wrong cop, lights out.
Right. So you have to make sure that you have your stuff in reachable distance. Don't put it in your glove compartment. Don't put it in the side panel, not in your purse. Have all of your stuff on the top visor.
Yep.
To where you can grab it. And do you guys have something like someone could buy?
Yeah,
like
but I don't drive around.
Actually, we do.
My papers.
Do you have her?
Like Genesis, I don't drive around. I only got my ID and and me. I don't even have a wallet. I just go out with my ID and a card, my ID card and a bank card. You can take it. Good.
Right. So like, if you need to so the whole thing is that you got to make sure what they're saying is like you got to make sure that wherever you grab it, it's like it ain't like you got to reach and do all this other stuff and do it to
give if I'm driving my car, I usually tell them just run my license, right? Run my plates, and it should come back registered to me. And if I'm not driving, then my ID identifies who I am. So I don't even be doing all that extra reaching for paperwork and nothing like that, because I don't keep that in my car at all, because my tag is attached to my identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they run the plates, they should see who that car is registered to, or the VIN number or something. They should see who that car is registered to, So most of the time,
you could even avoid that by just saying if you own the car and the plates are in your license plate name and your license just say, hey, just run my plates and run my license.
Yeah, they run my tag and they ask me, who is this? I said, that's me. You have an ID? Yeah, I give them my ID then. But most of the time, I just tell them, just run my plates. My car is registered to me. And whatever name that plate comes back from, which should be, me, then that's me. You know what I mean?
Right, they'll see your picture right there. Right.
Yeah. They do all of that. Where is your this? And I don't carry that. That is so 19. Technology have updated these days a lot. So we gotta. I just tell them run my plate. Ever since I started driving, I always tell them to run my tag, and you see who's registered too. I'm not going back and forth. I ain't reaching for nothing, But I do want to come back and talk to them though. I want to have an in-depth, because I've had so many scenarios, like when I had my pew in the car, but I had it in my trunk, and the police officer actually told me to put it in my passenger seat. He was like, "You're gonna need it. When you need it, you can get to it. You have a legal right to bear arms, right?" So
right.
I had so many different incidents of that. It's just like, yeah, I would like to talk to them, because I would like to tell them, because it's not that we always being stand up. It's just if we want to talk, someone will just come off aggressive off the rip,
Yeah, and if you have, we were mainly focusing on like drugs and like if you have weed or whatever. But yeah, what if you do have a pistol? So yeah, I definitely want to get into that, because I don't think we even got into guns and things like that. Like if you do have a weapon, like what is the best way? And that, when I bring them back, I'm gonna bring them back. I'm gonna hit them up to see if they can come back sometime this week and see if we could do like a Q&A about the show. We were supposed to do it today, but I didn't get to play the show. So, I wanted to play the show, get people to see it, and then come back for the Q&A.
Information handy?
Oh, wow. No, I don't have it on me. There's a gal who created, she created something for her sons.
Pocket listed, but like one was Pocket USA, I think was one.
Well, that's the one that goes outside the car. Somebody created something where you put your license, insurance, and registration, and then when you get pulled over, it's in this plastic thing that has a suction on it, and then you pop it on, or it has a little rope thingy. You put it, and it hangs outside the window. So all they got to do is come by and take it right from there.
And then there's another one who has.
So what about, okay, so you have some people saying, okay, don't roll the window down, only roll it. So doesn't that agitate the officers? If you just put your license and everything and dangle it outside the window, isn't that going to kind of piss the officers off a little bit and say, make people like, okay, what's going on?
It might for certain. See, and that's the other thing too. That's when you find out which cop is the bad cop and which one's the good one. When you have something like that, it's outside your window. You've said our 29 words, and when you get to "I'm not discussing my day," and you get some cop who's like, "Oh, you can't talk to me. You can't answer one simple question." That's a guy who probably shouldn't have a badge, and they're getting mad that you know your rights. We hear from good cops all across the country thanking us for teaching people this because it makes their job easier. It makes it safer for everybody because we're telling you, roll down your window enough to present your license, insurance, and registration and say nothing else, because that cop is there. He pulled you over for something. He's going to look in your car. He doesn't see anything. He's going to give you a warning or give you a ticket and send you on your way. The other cops who like to escalate and they want more and get mad when you're not telling them anything, that you immediately find out what kind of cop you got.
Right. So if they're like, no. That's how you know this person is really fishing.
Yes.
And can you describe fishing? What is fishing?
That's when they want to try to find something. They want you to incriminate yourself, but the only way you're going to do that is if you answer questions. You know, they don't initially see anything going on, but hey, well, you know, where were you coming from? You know, and some people, you know, why can't I came from the store, you know, I came from the store over there 3 miles away. Well, what if there was some kind of robbery and your car fits the description? You don't even know it, and now you incriminated yourself. So
do you say I don't answer questions, or do you say I do not wish to help you with your investigation at this point?
We think saying I'm not discussing my day. Your mic's muted, big brother. We think saying I'm not discussing my day is just the best answer to any question at all.
So we came up with not discussing my day after going through all this and starting with just shutting the fuck up, obviously. But what do you say to the cop? He's going to be upset. You're being rude if you don't say anything. So we came up with the most polite way to say it's none of your fucking business is I'm not discussing my day. Like, they get to ask where you came from and where you're going. What's it their business? I mean, not to be rude, but it's what's it their business?
Because at that point they are in a current investigation of two.
No, there's no investigation really. They pulled you over for a traffic ticket. And there's no, like, when you see that on TV, it's usually not when they first walk up and give you and have that interaction. This is pre all that. This is pre them saying, now I'm detaining you because now I'm doing an investigation. I'm detaining you now.
All right. So once you're detained is when the investigation starts.
Well, as far as we're concerned, no. As far as we're concerned, it starts the minute they pull you over. And that's why you got to watch what you say, because anything you say can be used, anything you say or do can be used against you in court. So it's protecting all those things you could throw away by talking is what our 29 words is meant to prevent.
You losing those what rights they're saying, like that you
gave them away at the traffic stop.
Right. And as a lawyer, you can't at that point even be able to help them because guess what? That everything is right?
Now, it's much better most of the time to not say much to them, right? And most of the time, like I had to tell my friends that don't say nothing, bro. Like they could knock on your door. You don't even have to open the door. Like you literally don't even have to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because some of them they do be fishing. They be looking for you to give them a reason to escalate. And that's the funny part about it, because most of their job is supposed to be de-escalating the situation, but most of them will hype it up, right? and I respect them because I don't want to discuss my day is a very nice way to say get the fuck out my face. You know what I mean?
I don't want to discuss my day. And you know what? That actually,
yeah, it's a really nice way. It's a corporate way to say I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's a really corporate way to say it's a really corporate way, but it still sounds very harsh, right? I don't want to discuss my day with you. You know, I could discuss it with anybody else, but you, I don't want to talk to about. So it's like It's still kind of hard,
there's
right?
probably a way that you have to say it that where you still say you're saying it, but you know, maybe you sound like I'm tired or something. I really
No,
don't know.
no. The best way is just, where are you going? Home. One word answers are pretty standard. Like, where are you coming from?
I
Out.
don't want to discuss my
I
day.
don't. I mean, that's kind of rude. If somebody told me that, I was like,
Right?
okay.
Where are you coming from? I don't want to
I don't
discuss
want
my day.
to. I'll be mad. I'll be mad. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be mad.
Right, that might piss the cop officer off. Like, wait a minute. Why not? Why don't you want to discuss your day?
Right? Did you
I
just
just don't.
did you just put a body in the trunk? Like, why don't you want to discuss your day?
Right.
But
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is a good, but these, I don't know. You
but I
know,
mean, them people get away with stuff that we can't get away with.
right.
If I
I
told
don't want
a
to
police,
discuss my
I
day.
don't want
Stand behind your back.
to, yeah, you
Discussion with
go to
the
jail. You're gonna discuss your day. You're
discussion
going
at the
to jail.
precinct, man. You want to discuss your
Let
day.
me see if you want to discuss paying this bond. Okay, like no, they don't. They can talk to them however they want to. That we cannot talk to them like that. Like I keep it very simple with the. Like I told you, they pulled me over. I was like, "Why you pulling me over?" He said, "Cause you ain't got your seatbelt on." I said, "Excuse you, I just took my seatbelt off just now." So he really didn't have no reason to pull me over in the first place. He just saw a black person driving a nice car in a white neighborhood. That's all it was for him. But he really didn't want to say that, and he felt stupid after that. You know.
But shoot, so they're saying you're not even supposed to say that I just took my thing off because then that could be used later on and this that the other. So it's like I don't know, like what the way that they're kind of saying is that you just pretty much you say you don't say you only say 29 things period in the whole shot. Well, listen, watch.
We're trying to make a deal as opposed to getting it dismissed. Because someone talked, gave him information. Maybe it led to something even worse. Just it's like they want to bait you into talking. And the most polite thing is I'm not discussing my day. That's it. Some people say I'm not answering questions, whatever. Either way you say it. But this is our
I think I'm not discussing my day sounds a little bit
and very politely and respectfully, not uppity.
Yeah, I'm not discussing my day.
That's it. And then you get right then and there is when you get, like I said, we get a lot of DMs from law enforcement saying thank you because if you do what we say, de-escalates the whole traffic stop. It will never escalate if you do what we say politely.
Well, it won't escalate because of you.
Correct. And you don't see too many where even the bad ones. I mean, some of these bad ones are bad, and they get baited by somebody. Some of them may even do it for the gram or whatever you want to say. Where but we've rarely seen it in someone who does the script. We haven't seen it. And there's enough people out there recording these days where we always challenge people to, it won't work for us. And people getting ripped out of the car saying that stuff. Like, why? It's saying your rights, saying I'm not discussing my day. I invoke the fifth. That's my right. I want a lawyer, so they have to cut off questioning you. Because if you invoke the fifth and they get you to crack later, then you're screwed. You're cracked. But if you say I want my lawyer, that's why we added it. It used to be the 25 words. We added I want my lawyer because then if they keep asking questions after you say I want my lawyer, then anything you say after that can be thrown out.
So I have a question. Video recording. So lately with the advent of the internet, you have people that will whip out their phone the moment they get pulled over, and they will just slamming their phone in front of that cop's face. And I believe that a lot of time escalates the issue. Should they do that or should they not?
Here we advocate always film the police. Always film the police. Now, when you're getting pulled over, we say have your phone already mounted facing the driver's side window, hit record and let it go. Because keeping it in your hand, eventually get out of the car.
Your phone.
It's gonna fall on the floor.
You know what's super sad? Super sad, and I should probably I'm teasing, but I should have a link up there somewhere. You gotta, they're so cheap these days. $39, $49. You can get those cameras that you put on your rear view mirror. that record 350 degrees.
Right. Uber drivers have those.
Right. They all have them. But no, what I'm saying is the sad part is every single person should have one, not just your phone, because like my brother said, at some point, if things do escalate for whatever the reason, you want to have that filmed. And if you're just using your own phone and you're by yourself, you're not going to get that footage after that point, because your phone's going to go flying and break or whatever the hell whatever happens. But if you have that rear view mirror 360-degree camera, you're going to protect yourself a lot more in that situation.
Right.
So it's just sad that everybody really should have one. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it is sad that you have to have that. So I wanted to kind of get into the current situation, because now you have a thing called ICE. So now there is not just normal law enforcement. Now you have ICE. And can you go into the difference between regular law enforcement and ICE enforcement, and what your legal rights are when it comes to recording ICE? Saying shutting the F up, I'm not discussing my day, all these different things that we said. How does this apply to ICE now?
Just the same. They are considered law enforcement, and it's all the same. You can film them, you stick to the script, same 29 words, listen to their physical commands as much as you hate what they're saying and doing. It's exactly the same.
So don't get that mixed up with, we think how they're told they can act is ridiculous and beyond anything I've ever seen in my 65 freaking years. How they're acting. Okay, like the judicial warrant versus
Wait, you said you're 65. You guys look good. What are y'all taking? What kind of supplements are y'all taking?
It's called genetics.
Yeah,
wow,
genetics,
okay.
and
y'all don't look 65. Okay,
and we both been consuming cannabis pretty much all our lives.
Oh, okay. It's the cannabis. That's what they call the pot brother. That's
I've been smoking since I was 16 years old.
So now pot makes you look younger.
So.
Oh wow, you guys look good though. You can't tell. Y'all don't look that much. You know what I'm saying? Y'all look. Man, that's crazy.
Well, you're very kind.
So where were we at?
Same script.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between.
They trying to say this pot smoking weed makes you like younger looking. Is that what they're trying to say? I don't know about that.
No, that's not true. That's
just
genetics.
Yeah, I think it's genetics. I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's mostly genetics and taking care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're in California. They probably on a vegan diet and all. California people how they be doing it. So
yeah, they
be vegans, and you know what I'm saying, going down to the beach and running and all this stuff like that. California is like they're super healthy. You can't blame that because they smoke weed. I was like, what?
Hey, I know somebody in California who don't look good.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I think weed sometimes dry people out. They be looking dry sometimes, looking ashy looking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a certain kind of weed that you smoke, because some people that smoke weed be looking gray.
And that's just, you're not taking care of yourself. Like, I think if you take care of yourself, it goes a long way too. Like, a lot of people just don't take care of themselves out here. You can't just put it on one thing. Like, as human beings, we got to eat a whole bunch of different foods to sustain. You can't just put it on one thing in your life that gives you that longevity or good skin and all that. It's like a multitude of things that we got to do, to
look
that good.
Like, well, because we've been smoking pot since we were kids.
That's they all
with that one. Because of weed. The weed did it. That's funny. Because we was smoking weed. That's why we look good. Anyways, let's keep moving.
What they should be doing, like if they only have an administrative warrant, the current law is they can't force entry into a home. If they have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, then a real superior court judge, then they can smash into your home with a warrant if you don't let them in. But a judicial administrative warrant, they can't. Now, that's the law. So, but in this day and age, unfortunately, there's people on the ICE side who say you know what? We're changing the rules. ICE can go in under administrative warrant, and they're just saying it. They're just saying it, and ICE may be doing it, and they're doing it, and it's ultimately fighting it in superior court.
A lot of cases going on around the country about it.
To see what's going to happen with those outcomes, but it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. They're supposed to be going after the hardened illegal criminals, and look at what it is. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah.
But the basic overall, to answer your question, is what we're talking about with general law enforcement pulling you over and ICE doing something. Same. You say the same 29 words, listen to physical commands, and then fight after in court and survive.
I mean, the problem is too is on walking down the street. Even people ask, how does that work? And theoretically, if you're not under, now this is maybe where you heard some of this. If you're not under suspicion of a crime or anything, they can't just stop you and ask you for ID. It's called stop and frisk. You can't do it. You have to have some reasonable articulation that this person was committing a crime. I mean, they can make those up real easy. Yeah, I saw someone in your description down the street who did this. You know, they can probably do it, but so
when it comes down to let's get back into the weed laws, right?
Yes.
So again, you said that weed is not legal, even though it's legal. So let's go into that, because I mean, all right, Detroit, weed is supposedly legal. There's all type of weed dispensaries all around the world, the whole thing. But what if you get caught with it in your car? It's not legal. Like,
no, so hold on, no. So there are limits. I'm not sure what the state of Michigan is, but like in California, there's medicinal use and adult use. In California, an adult 21 or older can purchase and transport and possess up to 1 ounce. If you have more than that, you could potentially be looking at a misdemeanor. And so every state has those types of limits, whatever they are. Some states have, I think Michigan's actually like, might be 2 ounces, but I'm not sure. You have to check that. But whatever it is, there's a limit. And you go over that limit, it's a crime. So to just blanket say it's legal is a misnomer, and it's not true, because true legalization would be like if I went and bought 10 cases of Jack Daniels and put them in my car, I could do that.
And it's state laws, not local laws. You got to check the state laws. All the legal cannabis licensing and so forth is all starts at the state level. You got to get local approvals as well, but you still have to get a state license ultimately. Everything goes through the state. So that'd be the best place to look.
Well, and that's for selling and
then you got all the criminal crime. Let's say someone's selling there, back in the day we got dime bags, right? Someone's selling an eighth. They're going to jail for possession and intent to sell and selling. So there's 2 misdemeanors right there in the cannabis space. So it's still illegal. It's still illegal. That's why the word legal is thrown around a little too loosely, because then people are driving around with it thinking it's legal. Oh yeah, it's all legal. And in some states like California, you can possess it, you can have it, but you can only smoke it at home or at a place where it's allowed. It's really tight. New York, you can smoke anywhere you can smoke a cigarette. They got that right. I smoked in Times Square. It was awesome. But, it's all the states have different rules so it's really not legal. It's a statement that throws people off and makes them more at ease with having weed on them.
And if you purchase it from a legal dispensary and go in your car and open it, now it's just like an open container of alcohol. And
wow, people probably didn't know that.
It's got to stay sealed.
So you can't smoke it in your car while you're driving.
No, correct. No, you cannot.
I mean, did y'all know that?
Correct. And if they pull you over and they smoke coming out the window, you still don't say anything. You still say.
And let me tell y'all something about this weed, because I don't smoke weed. So to me, I'm not sure people that smoke weed are aware of it. But when y'all smoke that weed and y'all be in y'all cars, that stuff be banging out that car. I mean, I don't know whether it's going through the exhaust system and shooting out the back through the muffler and the exhaust, but honey, it's almost like you get the whole highway high. There's been time I'm behind the car, I'm like, God dang, the weed is coming out the car, y'all. The weed, whatever, y'all are not. If y'all, I don't care if y'all got the windows rolled up, honey, that weed is coming out that car. It's coming through the exhaust pipes, blowing out the car through the back. Monopoly, are you aware of that?
Yeah, like ever since I quit that shit, bro, I be when people be on doing that shit around me, I be hypersensitive to the smell now. You know.
It's just like smoking cigarettes. Like if you don't smoke cigarettes and somebody's smoking cigarettes, you can smell that cigarette smell. Like
Yeah.
as soon as somebody come around and smoke cigarettes, you can smell it.
Yeah.
And just because you in your car, do not mean because it's a gas, it's smoke. So smoke is going to travel. And I don't know if they're blowing it. As soon as you blow it out, it's going into the vent and out through your whole system of the car and blowing out the back of it and getting the whole highway contact high.
Yeah.
Everybody getting high. Don't be in traffic. Everybody gonna be high that day when you doing that, smoking weed, driving. So
Yeah,
y'all
I
be
don't know.
wondering why the police is pulling you over saying I smell some weed. Because even if you ain't smoking it right now, you got weed all throughout the inside of your whole car in ventilation system.
Yo, you getting arrested for contact smoke now, bro. That's crazy. They're like, yo,
That
what's
weed stays in that car, y'all. That weed be in that car, bro. It don't matter,
yeah.
man. And people don't even realize that when they come, if you smoke weed and you get out that car and go walk into a room, man, you be banging. That weed smell be banging, and then the new weed smells like a skunk.
Yeah, that John be stanky. Yeah, like now, like
So
since
what
I
happened to
haven't.
the old weed that smelled like it had like a? It used to have a sweet smell to it. Now it smells like straight like
But
roadkill.
they lacing the joint up too. They putting all kinds of stuff in it. Like it's more addictive now too. Like people are, because they lacing it with like a little bit of the extra stuff they got going on around here, the Fenties and the methies. Like they lacing it
I'm
up.
not gonna say her name, but when she was saying about that, when she was saying it, I was like, I thought she was crazy, but now come to
Who?
find out she was right.
No, they dipping it. They lacing it for sure. And it's
She said that
making
she
people.
was spraying it on it, like spraying it on it. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, they spraying them now. It making people more addicted to the shit. You know what I'm saying?
So she was hip to something that we wasn't aware of because I wasn't aware of that. That's I'll give
Who?
that Jaguar. I'll give
You
her
talking
that.
about Skid Row? You talking about Skid Row? I think she's just a whole crackhead.
Man, I'm not even gonna go get into her. I'm just saying that she
She
was
used to
right about
roll
that
up.
about
She
the
used to roll up tobacco with the weed in there, with the incense. She was on all kinds of shit. That woman is a nut. Okay.
anyways, but
Uh,
I would say whatever. What I was one thing I would say is that weed smell when y'all think that nobody can smell that y'all walking you think that you spray a little bit of something, honey, that
oh
weed be
yeah, nah.
banging. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't spray that way. You can't get no spray and cologne and try to
Yeah.
spray it to smell like cologne mixed with weed.
Yeah. No.
Same
Yeah.
thing with cigarettes. Like a little weed
That.
cologne.
Yeah, that joint don't go away. I don't know what they be thinking, but hey, now I know. When we was younger and we used to think that we was lit when we come in the house, spray all that axe on, and come in
Right.
the house and thinking
You
we doing
hiding from
something.
your parents. You trying not to
Yeah,
like get caught. And honey,
they're
you smell
like
it banging. They can smell it
they
before
can
you
smell
even
it.
get in the same room as them. They can smell
So
that weed banging off of you.
I'm gonna stand outside in the window
Right.
blowing.
You better bring a change of clothes
Oh my
and put them in the
god!
trunk. Hell, the weed smell might still get onto them because
I'm telling
that
you,
this new weed that's out now is not right. I'm telling you. It,
yeah, these kids they be
I don't
ODing,
know
man.
why it smells like that. I don't know what they did to the plant to make it smell like that. But honey, And ever since they made it smell like that, it's never gone back to smelling how it used to in the 70s.
Yeah, but you know that's why a lot of people are
the 80s.
A lot of people are more addicted to these days. You know.
You know what it smells like to me? It smells like spritz. You ever smelled like hair spritz?
Nah.
Like, it's not hairspray, but the real spritz, the real strong hairspray. That's how it smells to me. It has a very strong smell, and that smell will bang through anything, cars, exhaust systems. I mean, you could clothes will be through. You know what I'm saying? And so yes, and so when the police say they smell weed, honey, they probably if someone I don't even be liking people that smoke weed getting in my car.
I don't mind because
Driving
I
with
don't. Yeah, because I don't smoke, so I don't mind. You know, but when I be around them, and I just be like, like I don't want to smell that, but
yeah, I don't
still
want to
be
smell
around
it.
them.
I don't want to smell like it. I don't want the police to pull my car over saying they smell it in my car because you was in here for 5 seconds and it's almost like you got like this cloud like that dang on character on Charlie Brown around you of weed smell. The cloud, instead of it being dirt, it's the weed cloud. You know?
Yeah, shit, they could
Was there
search me.
that Pigpen? Remember Pigpen? He had like a little cloud around him.
Oh yeah, a little puffy thing around
Right.
him. Yeah,
that's how the
like,
weed people that smoke weed be having that little cloud around them.
they
But
have
it
that
be instead of
stench.
it being dirt, it'd be like the weed smell, you know?
Yeah, they had that stench walking around with them. Yeah, they had that stench walking around. But shit, I don't mind though.
So
But yo,
let's go.
I'm at the gym right now. So when they come back next time, just hit me up and I'll pop out. Okay.
All right, for sure. We're gonna finish this thing up. But thank you for coming up. Anybody else want to come up? The link is in the chat.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You do the exact same script. This thing here is the last 29 words. The last and only 29 words you say to the law enforcement. That's it. Right there. I know it's backwards, but you can look on our website. What is stfuguys.com?
No, it's not backwards. Go ahead and put it up there real quick. Just put it up there real big. All right. So it says, why did you pull me over? I'm not discussing my day. Am I being detained or am I free to go? And it says, I detained you. You say, I invoked the Fifth Amendment. I want my lawyer. And then you shut the F up. I do not consent to a search.
Yes, you always want to say that.
Those are the three things. So those are like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the things you say right there.
Yes.
And it's literally,
AYLD,
it used to be
millennial.
25 words until we added the I want my lawyer part.
All right. So when they want their lawyer, I mean, can they call you? Or
No. I mean, they're more than welcome, but but the point, see, it's funny when we do a tip on this and people ask, why do you people make comments? I love it because they don't know. People don't know for the most part. You know, they go like, what, who has a lawyer on the side of the road? Who are you going to call? Really? Come on. But that's not what this is meant for. The asking, I want my lawyer, is meant strictly and only to cut them off from asking questions.
Oh, so the moment you say I want my lawyer, they can't ask you any more questions.
Not until there's a lawyer present. And if they keep asking questions and you crack, anything after you said I want my lawyer, we can potentially get thrown out. But if you invoke the Fifth, don't say I want a lawyer, and you're being quiet for a long time, you get in the cell and someone says something and you say something.
So
someone's booking person is going to book in now, and they're going to say something, and you're going to say something, then you just waived what you just invoked earlier. You waived that right.
Right. So if you get pulled over, you get arrested, and after you said I want my lawyer, and they said, you know what? Guess what? We're going to put you in jail.
And then you just shut up.
Get locked up. Don't talk to nobody.
Nope.
Until you're in the tank.
Until
your first call.
Don't talk in the tank. Hold on. Let me put that here. Don't talk in the tank.
We got to give a shout out to our buddy Attorney Rosenberg.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's a really good, another criminal defense attorney friend of ours, and he's a monster, and he came up with that little slogan as well. Don't talk in the tank.
Right. The whole objective is to shut the F up.
Yep. Yep.
The
Like you
moment
say,
that
if
you
you
get pulled over,
remember
the
nothing else.
investigation starts. Shut the F up.
If you can't think of
Right.
anything else.
I
And
had
how many so many people have the right, but they don't have the ability to do it is actually sad.
exactly because they because people feeling like no, I'm entitled to. I think I know. What about this sovereign citizen thing? What do you think about that?
I'm
Can
not
you
going to
break
say
that
anything.
down?
I'm not going to say anything other than it's not worth talking about. That's how little I think of it. If that tells you anything.
Wow, so that means that the sovereign citizen, there's no such thing. Yep,
Nah.
sovereign citizen.
Well, I don't want to say no such thing, a real thing. I'm just saying in the context of what we talk about is
You have to have a driver's license to drive on the highways and freeways in any state.
And insurance and whatever. So yeah,
You're not just traveling.
Right, I'm traveling, but ain't no commerce going on in my vehicle.
Yeah,
vehicle code section, blah blah blah. Yeah,
commerce going on in my vehicle.
Yeah. Next,
I'm not transporting anything. Don't do it. You're gonna end up because a lot of sovereign citizens
you know what? They're gonna believe what they believe.
A lot of sovereign citizens don't do this. They don't.
That's right. They do anything but that. They do anything but that. And,
right. So
you can't go wrong.
Just be quiet. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Let them go ahead and do whatever. Because at the end of the day, you could have a case, but don't ruin the case by running your mouth.
Well, I like to say, I've been doing criminal defense for 30 years. And when I read a police report, if I read these 29 words were said by my client, the defendant, and that's it. And everything else, all other talking was the cop. We have a much easier time poking holes in what they did, proving that they violated you,
that they lied,
or that they lied. When you start saying things, that's when they start twisting little things around, and all sorts of other things can happen with your words, but those 29 words, sticking to that, they can't twist anything around. It's very clear. Am I being detained or am I free to go?
That draws a line in this. That draws a line in the sand. Respectfully draws a line in the sand. That's after when you can say I'm not discussing my day a few different times if you want, politely. Like no matter what he asks you, I'm not discussing my day. He can ask you 3 different whatever.
And once you say I want my lawyer,
well, no, I mean the best thing to do, and I hate to push it, but we have this. We literally have this part here in a sticker that goes where your oil change goes. So when you get pulled over, and even if you have our card that has these, it's you get nervous. I've been there. Guy standing there 6 feet, 7 feet tall with all this thing on and his jacket, armor,
guns.
It's intimidating, even if they're not ones who want to be intimidating. It just is. So we came up with the sticker thing that's like the oil change, and you don't have to worry about forgetting these 29 words because they're very, very important. And maybe on another podcast we can go over every line is based on some type of law or case law.
I definitely want to bring you guys back up
on protecting your 4th and 5th, and how to do that, and why we tell you to invoke this and STFU and don't do that, and why we don't engage with them is so we don't prolong it. That's why I'm not discussing my day. Get to it. You're gonna give me a ticket or not? That's what am I being detained or am I free to go? Like it's like give me a ticket or not.
Well, and that's the other thing too. When you get pulled over, you are being pulled over for some traffic violation, and your goal should be either to get some warning or get the ticket. Nothing else. People say stuff, and then next thing you know, the cops all up in their car searching because of something they said, and then we can't fight it. Or they consented because they thought there's nothing in my car. Oh, well, your buddy Johnny dropped an 8-ball in the corner of the car 3 weeks ago and you didn't know it, did you? And there it is.
Right.
I mean, we have all
Hold on, I
ammunition.
don't consent to searches. Can you break that part down? Why is it important to say I do not consent to searches? Let's go into that. That's
Like I just said, you may think there's nothing in your car, but there could be something there.
Well,
and even if there isn't, this is the most important part. Even if there's nothing in your car, it's clean. You know it's clean. If you consent, can we search? Yeah, go ahead. You're not going to find anything. Then they can rummage through all your stuff, throw it on the side of the street. They can even take your seats out, throw it on the side of the street, find nothing and say, "Oh, sorry, bye." And you have absolutely no recourse because you waived your fourth and you consented to that search.
We just got a couple comments on our Facebook page, I think it was, people saying that exactly what, like at least it was 2 or 3 people that said that happened to them. That happened to them, where they ended up getting everything taken apart and they had nothing, and it was a big hassle. And
can we also go into, like, you could have a whole bunch of money on you, but you might be leaving the bank.
Well, you know what? It's what we try to get across, and people don't get it, is if you stick to the script, sometimes they just let you go. They're the good ones who go, "Hey, this guy knows his shit," whatever, and they let you go with a warning. Or you just get a ticket for illegal lane change. That's it. Give me the ticket for what you pulled me over for. That's it. Let's be done. Without saying that, our script allows you to say what I'm saying now without saying it. Without saying, it's none of your fucking business. I'm not discussing my day. That's nice. And then, am I being detained? Am I free to go? It's like, I know you ever heard the term before, but should I get off the pot? Give me a ticket or let me go. And it pushes them. It's hard to do. I did it about 8 years ago. I did it, and it was not easy. I hadn't been pulled over in a million years, let alone for a potential DUI. And I did it, and it's not easy, but they ultimately let me go.
So can we get into a little bit more of like the whole ICE situation? Because now you see ICE going into like airports and things like this. What is it the same?
I hope they're not stopping anybody who's leaving the country.
Hey, I don't know, man. It's wild out here. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there was just some incident at San Francisco airport. Mr. Checkpoint just posted it.
I haven't been following. I have to admit. I
know it's probably so stressful to even like look at it.
It's just overwhelming. I mean, I followed enough to know what's.
I'm going to say that it seems to me that I'm looking at this whole ICE situation at the airports. It looks like they're replacing the TSA agents. So that was a slick move. You cut off the government funding. Everybody, get the government funding cut off, and then you get rid of all the TSA agents, and then you replace them with the ICE agents that you just spent all those billions of dollars generating money from. So now it makes it's going to make the government have to, when they rev back up, probably pushing that bill, that funding for ICE, because ICE is now working TSA. But hell, they have enough money to be. I mean, ICE is still getting paid. I don't think the TSA workers are. So, I think that there's like thousands of TSA workers that now are not working right now. So ICE is taking their place. So I think that's interesting right there, how that series of events just popped off. Crazy
going on in the world, and I hate it. What's going on right now? But they just slam it over and over and over and over on the stupid news channels, all of them, and it's like, it's just it's ridiculous. That's all I can say. It's ridiculous.
The main reason why I want to bring this up is because, okay, if you're in like a place, because ICE is all over now, and then they can like pull you over, and they could say that, oh, you're protesting. You could have just pulled into a place where things are going down at.
That's right.
How do you circumvent getting caught up in?
You can't. Don't go near any of those places that there's a lot of people, or you're going to the airport, you're going through a lot of people. It is what it is, and you handle it just like we recommend to handle. Like, why'd you stop me, as opposed to why'd you pull me over? Like, why'd you stop me? Like, I'm walking here. Like, why'd you stop me?
And then at the end of the day, you don't fight right then and there.
At the end of the day, whether they had the right or not, because of who they are, you want to stay alive, you just do what they say. If that means they're arresting you for the moment, then they're arresting you. Whether it's 100% wrong, do you want to live to get released and then sue them? Or do you want to like argue about it on the spot? That's not going to work.
So do you think that actual like ICE is going to be able to be even fought in court right now with the current situation? Do you think it could be a thing that can be fought, or do you think that it's a federal case that could not be won?
No. It's they're being fought. They're being fought across the country. A lot of like the protesters who've been caught up and people who have been wrongfully detained
and the searches
and searched wrongfully. There are cases working their way through court. You know, it takes the wheels of justice move slow, right? But that's where it's,
and hopefully the courts will uphold the fact that they need a judicial warrant, not just an administrative warrant. But on the ground, if they're going to enforce an administrative warrant like a judicial warrant, there's nothing we can do about it. Other than I don't consent to you coming in, you step aside, and if they break the door down, then they break it down. That's just more evidence you didn't consent. So they can't say later, oh, they gave me consent. They like to do that too. So it's just ICE is putting.
So a person that has a house, I don't consent to you coming in.
Yep.
Or if you are stopped, instead of like, why did you pull me over? Okay, why did you stop me?
Yep. Same thing.
And that's a way to deal with that situation. So listen, you know, we got about 10 more minutes. I want to run through these very things that you guys said. And then we're gonna come back on. We're gonna bring some people on and have people ask you guys questions like next week. You know, whatever questions they have. But I think this is a great show. I think that we really covered a lot in this thing because, like I said, a lot of people, you know, they think they're sovereign citizens. That's nonsense. Ain't no sovereign citizen. Doesn't work. They laugh at that. Even in court, if you think you're gonna like do your own courtroom lawyering, you're putting your own risk. You're putting yourself at risk. You think you can go up there and say that I am a free person of my own will and I'm a free whatever it is? Why would you do that?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm a walking person of a free will of God and whatever it is. You better get you a lawyer that knows that. So what is the function? Let me just do before this. What is the true function of a lawyer? Why is a lawyer important in this and not trying to
lawyer?
What's the word? What's the word when you try to like plead your case on the side of? I think there's a word for it. Like when you try to
idiot, improper. Improper.
Well, a person
it's like having court, like holding court on the side of the road. There's no reason to do that.
Well, no, holding court by yourself, you representing yourself.
Right. And what do they say when you do that?
Those who represent themselves have a client for a fool.
Right.
Those who represent themselves have a client for a fool. Those that I'm gonna put this in there.
Like a doctor operating on themselves.
Right. For a fool. And why is that so important to know that? Because it's like you said, it's like a doctor operating on himself. It's
well,
like
I mean, but no. That's actually probably not a good analogy. I'm sorry, Mark. Because it's more of if you don't know the system, it's just you need someone who knows the system. It's unfortunate. And some people can do it on their own. They can Google it. They can chat GPT it. They can do a good enough job to where, you know, for some things you don't necessarily need a lawyer. But if you're not savvy enough and you think you're going to do it on the cheap, and even that, getting lawyers who are cheap, it's called bleed them and plead them.
Right. So you pay what you weigh. Like if you know,
yep,
if
we charge, let's say $7,500 for something, and someone charges $2,500. We're like, then you know what? Our case for you is going to take like 2 years because we're gonna continue it out forever. We don't care about how many appearances it is, and the cop's going to forget this, and we're going to do a motion to get that suppressed, and it's going to blah 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 blah. Or you're going to pay $2,500. First time the guy goes to court, he's going to say, okay, give him a deal and give him a small felony and a 90 days suspended.
Can you go into that? The whole because a
bleeding
lot of people they get like that court appointed, and that court appointed,
that's different. There's a
Could you
court
break down
appointed.
court appointed real quick?
A court appointed isn't going to necessarily do that to you. They're just overworked and burdened at the public defender's office, that you might not get the same eyes on your file than you would for a private defense. A good private defense who's actually going to look at it, not just take it in for the buck and then try to get it settled the quickest.
And with public defenders, in my experience, they're either really, really good because they care and that's why they did it, or they're on that side trying to get over to the prosecutor's side and, trying to get some notches in their belt, and they don't really care that much. It's kind of a crapshoot, but everybody's entitled to a defense and entitled to an attorney. And so if you can't afford one, that's where they appoint one to you.
You're better off trying to get a public, in my opinion, you're better off trying to get a public defender than paying someone half of what we would charge you.
People don't even know that. Better off getting a public defender versus a cheap lawyer. That's wow. I mean, we're learning a lot here, guys. We got 5 more minutes left.
We just tell it like it is.
Listen, and this has been a great show. So I wanted to so I'm gonna go over the words again. We're gonna give some. I wish you could you send me your? Did you send me your page and stuff? Nope, Kate didn't send it to me.
Yeah, just you can go to the stfuguys.com. That'll bring up
STFU guys.
That brings up all our merch.
And then if you go to popbrothersatlaww.com, that brings up our actual website.
Somebody put it in the chat here.
Okay, I think hold on, let me just see.
Yeah, just do it.
Pop Brothers at Law. Here we go. So Pop Brothers, is that the right one right there? Pop Brothers at Law.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
and
that.
The STFU guys. So shut the F up, guys.
Yep.
.com. That's their merch. And show your merch. Do you have it on you?
He has that one.
STF up. Keep calm. Don't talk to cops. All right. So y'all need to get those t-shirts.
And this is a collab with my son.
And the script stickers. Wow. The script stickers are on the STFU guys, along with that nice trucker hat my brother's wearing.
Yes, yeah, I like that. I like
and a bunch of other shirts and stuff, but the script stickers are there, and those really come in handy to just put it right on your windshield instead of the oil change reminder, because you have lights for that now. Put that sticker right there so you always have your rights with you.
So tell me this, do you guys still practice law, or are you just only
I wish.
Yeah. No, we practice. My brother does all the
once we sell 1 million stickers, then I can
do all the criminal defense.
So you guys are still. So if you're in California and you run into an issue, please contact Pop Brothers at Law. Do you have a phone number?
Yes, I'll pop it right in here. It's 855 WAS Law. And I will say this: we only practice in California, all of California, but
I do the administrative side as well.
Because of our large social media following with nearly 3 million followers across all platforms, we've created a really wide network of attorneys that if you reach out to us, we can potentially refer you to somebody in another state that you can consult with. We can't promise.
Right, if a person's in jail, can they call you and say, "Hey, I'm in jail right now. Can you guys help me?" Or do you have to be out and then call you?
No. So how that works is they can't. We have gotten calls like that, but there's nothing an attorney can do for you when you first get put in jail. You have to know that you get that call. You need to call somebody in your life that you say, "Hey, this is where I'm at. Here's the booking number. Bail me out." And they have to call a bail bondsman to bail you out. And then you get an attorney. Or if you can't bail out, that person on the outside calls and gets the attorney. you know, we get retained. And I just did it like 2 weeks ago. I got retained. Somebody was arrested. The mother called me. I went to the jail and, you know, made my visit, you know. But calling an attorney, unless you have a very special relationship, attorney-client relationship already set up to where, okay, and I've had those before. Client, hey, I'm in jail. Okay, I'm coming to see you. You know, but that's already set up. You know, typically somebody doesn't have ready to go. You got to call somebody else in your life that can then reach out to the bail bondsman or the attorney.
The number is 1-855 WAS Law.
Correct.
And that is like, you know, when you need a lawyer, you know, please hit them up. All right, so let's go over those rules again. The 29 rules. Hold on, let's
29 words. All right.
29 words. All right.
So this is what we do, like on Shut the Fuck Up Fridays, as we have dubbed it long ago. The daily script review. Big brother, what do you say when the cops first come up on you and they say, you know how fast you were going?
Why'd you pull me over?
Because you were speeding. What's that smell?
I'm not discussing my day.
Yeah, but your eyes are red. Have you been drinking?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're being detained. Get out of the car.
I get out of the car, keys in pocket, locked door. Tell them I invoke the fifth. I want my lawyer.
And then when they ask more questions and keep hounding you, what do you do?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh wait, I thought that you said I don't consent to searches though.
Well, that's not part of the 29 words.
If they ask you, can we search? You say, I don't consent to searches.
All right, so I want my lawyer, and then you shut the F up. All right, so I had an extra step in there.
Yeah, no, do not consent is at any time they attempt to ask you if you consent to a search. Then
Or
you
they
say no.
Or they
Right,
just start
so-
searching and going through your stuff. Hey, I don't consent to searches.
Exactly. And just for FYI, once again, the moment they pull you over, investigation starts. Everything you say can be used against you. Keyword is
Shut the fuck up.
shut the fuck up. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you guys. Peace.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like I am. Your energy.